Hey people. So today I'm gonna be showing you a bass. This is a Harley Benton BC Rich Warlock copy. I just got this thing a few days ago, and last night I pretty much just spent tweaking this thing. This is actually the first bass I ever did a fret level on, and you know, for my first time, I don't think it's that terrible. So yeah. So you guys might be like, that's definitely not stock. And no, it really isn't. As of right now, the only thing that's stock on it is the pickup, the body, the tuners, and the strap buttons, and all the electronics. Let me show you guys. So originally, it came with, I just lost all the screws. This bridge on it. It's a Fender style bridge. And last night I was sitting there and I took my old bridge off of Lindsay. As you can see, it's a Jackson high mass bridge right here. And I threw it on here. It took me a minute to figure it out because for a $120 guitar, this thing's actually pretty okay. But the holes that were in here were kind of a pain in the ass. But the thing is rock solid on here. You know, it's not going anywhere. You know, sometimes it would lift this way or lift this way. And after getting some string tension on it and, you know, adjusting the screws right, I got it to where it needs to be and where it's actually playable. And if you guys remember Jack's, my old Spectra, I knew it's not really a big problem if it's just lifted up just a little bit off the body. I know it's not that big of a problem because Jack's actually, for a while, this part of the bridge was lifted up just a little bit. If I really wanted to, I could probably back these screws off quite a bit and make it like a wannabe tremolo if I really wanted to, but I'm not gonna. So, yeah. Sorry for my shitty appearance too. Just a hermit right now. So, but yeah, it's a Warlock style bass for $120. Let's see how it sounds. And holy God, this is pretty freaking quiet. Versus Lindsay. But you know, and this output is so fucking weird. Yeah, it's just the cable. Yeah, it's just this shitty cable. I'm probably gonna wind up this thing is chewed the fuck up. I've had this cable since I was like 16. No, not. I'm 16 right now. What the hell? Let me set this down. Because I'm gonna do something. Because luckily, this thing actually did come with a new lead. Definitely not gonna be the best lead in the world, but compared to But when you're in dire situations, it's good to have a spare lead somewhere. And this situation is a really good one. If I really wanted to, I could probably just turn this around. But I don't think I'm gonna. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna plug that into there. And this is the lead it came with. Very thin. But I hope it works pretty okay for what it is. Anyway, I am running through my dark glass pedal. It just gives me some more power where power is needed, or wanted. Same thing. Gotta untangle this mess down here. Let me pull that through. Okay. So it looks like we got that mess untangled, and we're just gonna plug that back in. Okay. Sorry about this, guys. Technical difficulties always happen, so you know, typical bullshit. And I'll just keep this thing around for when I might need it. I'm probably just gonna use this old cable, just for, you know, Philip or Owen comes over. We have a spare lead in case they forget theirs. Like I said, I've had this thing since 2016 ish, somewhere around there. I don't fucking know. So let's try this again. That's better. Lindsay's gonna be pissed. Lindsay does not like right angle cables that much. So, anyway, sorry about that, guys. For those of you who are still here, let's talk about what I'm planning on doing with this bass. So I'm probably gonna keep this hardware black. You know, I might keep this bridge on here because it's actually not that terrible of a bridge. It's in no way close to what Hipshot is. But you know, I'm probably gonna keep this jack plate. I'm definitely gonna replace these tuners right here. They're okay, but they're not the best. My mute right there. Definitely gonna put some new strap buttons on here just to give it the extra security. And this is just with the stock strings on it. These strings are really not the best. But you know, it has a really nice tone. I like this pickup position. You know, it's like, it's closer to the bridge. But yeah. I took the original chrome knobs that were on here and put them on my Ibanez. And this is one of the knobs. And I put a speed knob. Another idea. I'm thinking about putting a red speed knob on here and having everything else blacked out. And yeah, so still trying to think of a name for this. I thought of, blackout, because it's pretty much going to be blackout. It's going to be a blackout sort of base. But for $120, I'd say go get one of these. Mine got a little damaged in the mail. I have a bunch of rocks outside of my house, and probably when the guy sat down, it was just like, because this thing is pretty girthy. My dad was sitting and playing, and I said, if you didn't know it was $120, what would you think the price point on this would be? He goes, about 300. It does make it really well. Yeah, as it stands right now, this action is about just a little over 7/64. Now, to a lot of you, that might seem like a pretty high action. But for me, for about a year-ish, or about 6 months, when I had jacks, I went from pretty much E standard tuning to drop C. So naturally, that action was really high. For a long time, Lindsay's was pretty high. So I'm used to high action. I kind of hate low action because I'm a pretty heavy-handed player. So yeah, I mean, I play with a pick. I hardly play with my fingers. The only cover I think I did with fingers was my most recent cover, which was Rocket from Def Leppard. And yeah, so I'm going to kind of show you some differences between this bass and Lindsay. So, of course, Lindsay has the hip shot kick-ass on here. That's probably going to be what I'm going to put on here. They are both getting EMGs. I'm going to probably order the new pickup for this sometime soon. The pickups for this thing are on the way, so really excited about that because I have a PJ, well, I'm going to have like a P hum, like a P bass pickup and a humbucker in the bridge. And it's going to be the EMG TW in the bridge, so it's going to have a push-pull pot. And I'm putting a selector switch in it. So materials. What is similar between these two? Well, this body is poplar, this body is basswood. Basswood is actually what Vic is, my 5-string. Both have maple necks, and this neck on the Warlock actually feels pretty kick-ass. It's thick up here, it's thicker. But it's around the 2nd fret thickness that would be on my Kelly Bird. And, it's a C shape, so it's a little thicker versus this one, which I don't mind. I really don't notice a difference. Besides when I'm playing one for so long that I switch to the other, I'm like, okay, I gotta adjust real quick. So, comes with the gig, right? This bass is active, this bass is passive. Definitely gonna turn this into an active, because if you guys couldn't already tell, the signal on this thing is pretty fucking weak. One thing I was really happy about was Amaranth Fingerboards. Lindsay has an Amaranth fingerboard, so I'm really accustomed to Amaranth for a fingerboard, right next to Maple, of course. Maple's probably my favorite out of the two. But this thing has the Amaranth board, and holy shit, it feels great. No compound radius, unlike Lindsay. So, of course, I'm comparing two totally different basses. But you know, they're both really good. Little quick bass hack for you guys. Let's see if I can grab her. There we go. So, my string mutes that I put behind the headstock. This is actually just a couple pieces of Velcro put on top of each other and slid back here, and it mutes. I have it on all my basses except my 4-string concert bass, except my concert bass, which, due to the playability of that thing, it's just like, I don't play the damn thing. After all, I'm more known for pointy guitars. So this thing kind of serves as a substitute for it. Yeah, we're still in drop D. Haha, Philip. But the first song I played on this thing was actually either The Torture Never Stops by Wasp or Jambi by Tool. Jambi's a kick-ass riff. Yep, the song that got me into metal. Fun fact. A lot of you guys probably know that. If you guys know me in person, you probably know my whole life story. So you guys probably know that that's one of my favorite songs. You never know. One thing I'm also really happy with is the contoured heel. I don't know how well you can see it, but it is contoured, and you know, the neck joint is slanted, which is actually pretty nice. But yeah, other than the couple dings on the bottom, this thing is actually really good as far as the paint goes. I'm thinking about repainting it in some way. I don't know if I want to put red bevels on it, yellow bevels, purple, blue, make match the other bases with blue. I'm kind of leaning more towards like purple sort of thing. And then probably call it Garmadon. Because one of my favorite villains I used to love when I was a kid was Lord Garmadon from Ninjago. And I think either I'll call this thing Blackout, Vader, or Garmadon. If I go with, red bevels, or if I just completely black it out, I'll probably call it Vader. Or, well, if I just keep it like this, I'll probably call it Blackout. But if I put, like, some red accents in it, like a red EMG, I'll probably call it Vader. But if I, put some purple bevels on this thing, maybe some gray here, like, maybe a little bit of gray splatter, and a red speed knob, yeah, I'm calling this motherfucker Garmadon. But yeah, so if you guys are really wanting to get a pointy guitar for $100-something bucks, go to Harley Benton, pick one of these up. And one trick I'm gonna pull next time is I'm gonna order 2 basses, because the shipping with shipping and tax, this thing came to about $200. I could have bought one of the other basses that I liked on there, which was either the Black Thunderbird style or the Black Music Man or P-Bass. Or jazz bass, either one. But yeah, with this bridge on here, this thing has a, I know it's in the wrong tune, but I can't play it like that. I tried to play Legacy by Black Veil Brides, but it doesn't really sound right in D. It has to be in C sharp, you know. But Cowboys from Hell. But yeah, I almost thought about painting this thing yellow because I love Johnny Rod from Wasp and he played a yellow Ironbird, but I prefer the Warlocks more than Ironbirds. I never played an Ironbird, but out of all the BC Rich guitars I played, I'm torn between. I'm used to the Mockingbird, essentially, and I'm used to the Warlock, of course, because I sit and play with my dad's old Warlock all the time. And I'm really torn, as far as my favorite BC Rich shapes, I'm torn between the Warlock and the Bitch. Yes, I know BC Rich changed it to be the B Rich. I think what they should have called it instead was the Witch. Because I think I saw some not that long ago about like it was a old BC Rich catalog, and I think this thing was called the Wizard or something like that, and the Bitch was called the Witch. But yeah, a Bitch or a Warlock is more down my thing, or a War Beast. Not really a big fan of the beast shape, but I like the upper part of it. But, you know, I like Warlocks a lot. I'm a Warlock guy. You know, it's one of the bases that actually started me on bass. Because I saw Nicky Six with his black Warlock and the Live Wire music video. Really. And I was like, I want that job. So, but yeah. Let me know down in the comments what you think of this bass. But for $120, you really can't go wrong with this thing. Definitely not on par with, you know, Vic. Like, Vic is a fucking beast, man. Because I had that thing into a guy who's been working on guitars for over 30 years. So, naturally, that thing's just perfect. But you know, if you guys want a good starter guitar, project guitar, I'd say go for one of these. And you know, if you guys want to learn how to do fret leveling and crowning and all that, do it on a guitar like this. Don't go get a really nice Epiphone or Fender, or you know, I really can't say Jackson because, well, if you are trying to level a Jackson neck as your first try at it, you're just fucking nuts, because it has a compound radius, and compound radius are a little bit more difficult. Don't ask me because I never tried it. But you know, you have like different radiuses on the neck, and it's just a pain in the ass. So get something like this. Don't go get a Fender or Epiphone or LTD 1000. Go get a cheaper LTD even and do it on there. I don't care. Anyway, this is Zachy Allen signing off with a pretty damn good bargain for a bass. Anyway, see you guys on the other side. Peace.